Okay. Good morning, everyone. Um, People have a lot of questions, and yeah, so we'll actually continue with JavaScript for today. Definitely, the class is live streamed. Okay, so for JavaScript, so we've learned about different data types. We've learned about strings. We've learned about objects and a lot of things. Okay, so for today, what we'll be looking at, I will still come back to answer this most of our questions that we have here towards the end of the class, but let's handle what we have for today. So for today, we are dealing with operators. I need to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, so for those of us that like mathematics and all of that, so in JavaScript, it's possible for you to do um, additions, comparisons, and a couple of things. So just the same way maths works, that's the same way you do it in JavaScript. So what is an operator? So say for instance, now we want to do we want to do additions, subtractions, multiplications, and all of that. We need an operator to do that. We need to be able to use an operator to manipulate values. So an operator is basically something that is capable of manipulating a certain value or operand. So they are used to perform specific mathematical or logical computations. So the same way we do additions, subtractions, multiplications, remainder, and all of that. So that's the same way using operators works. So we have lots of operators, but I'm just picking a few here which we'll look at. So we have assignment operators, we have comparison operators, we have arithmetic operators. So we'll be looking at those three. So you actually get to explore more to see the difference. There are more. There are so many other operators. So yes. So in JavaScript we have binary and unary operators. Then we also have a special kind of ternary operator, which is a conditional operator. So what are the differences? Okay, so when we say binary, binary means two. So a binary operator requires two operands. So say for instance, we want to do, so we have on my screen here, I have let A be this, let B be this. But let's just start. Let's say we want to do, so I'm just doing this. So we have 5 plus 3. Now, so when we look at this now, this number here is an operand. This 5 here is an operand. This 3 is also an operand. And then this plus is an operator. So this plus is able to manipulate this 5 and this 3 to give us a value. to give us the total of this, the sum of these two numbers. So that's, so when we say binary now, binary means, okay, I need this operand, I need this operand. So this makes me a binary operator. So the binary operator here is this plus, because you can't say 5 plus. 5 plus what? So you need two things. You need two numbers, or you need more numbers to actually use this plus. The same goes for minus. The same goes for multiplications. So those are binary operators. Now, when we talk about unary operators, so we have something like, let's say we have 5, and then we can also do this. Yeah. So this is a unary operator. Why is it a unary operator? You just need one value, I mean one operand. So this 5 plus plus. So let's just do something. Let's see what this actually gives us. So I'm saying let A be this. Okay. Give me a moment, sorry. Uh, so let's do let me see. Let's see if this gives us something. I didn't save this. Okay, so it actually throws an error. Okay, so this is what I will do. So I have here now, let A be equals to 5, and then I'll say A plus plus, and then I'll do console.log A. Let's see what that gives us. So sorry. I still have an error. Okay, so I'm going to assign this. Let's B be equals to this. All right. So let me get the value. I don't think this will make a difference. All right. So if I put this plus in front of it, and then I do this. Oh, sorry. JavaScript and this something. Sorry, I'm coming. Okay, okay. Sorry, let me remove this. All right. Sorry, I didn't know that I had something there that was affecting it. Okay, so we have let A be equals to 5. And then we now have let B be equals to plus plus and then A. So this A now, so I've not talked about assignment operators. So when we were learning, we learned how to do this. We learned how to create variables. Now, for that variable to have a value, you need to assign something to it. So that's where this equals to comes in. So we said let A be equals to this. So if we do console.log A, and I'm jumping into something else, I'll come back to that. So this node, this what I'm doing here now, you need to, I think you need to have node installed on your computer for you to be able to use your terminal here to do this. So I don't know if any of you has tried since the last class to do it on your own. Okay, so here now when I do console.log A and I do node app, so this is my app.js. I don't know if we're confused about this location. So this my app.js is inside my JavaScript. So let me just take us back a bit. So it's inside my JavaScript, and I had to change directory to my JavaScript so that I'll be able to run this file that is inside here. So in case you're trying to do that, you can you have to navigate to where your app.js is so that you'll be able to do what I am able to do or what I'm doing now. Okay, so I was saying, so we have this now. So let's see what this gives us. So this console.log is to output a certain to output values, to output what you expect, to see what you're expecting. All right, so when I do this node app, so we now see I have 6 here. Why do I have 6? All right. Okay. Let me comment this one first, so I will explain. So we have 5 here. So this 5 has been assigned to A. So A is now carrying this value, the value of this 5 now. Now, I was talking about this this. So when you have an operator, this 2 plus before or after. So we're saying this is a kind of unary operator. So when we do this, and then we are trying to console log A. So we expect to see 5. This is what we gave. But look at what is coming out. We are getting 6. Now, what this does is it says, okay, increment A by 1. So that's why when we now do console.log A, this has already done the increment and then assigned it over to A now. So instead of A being 5, this is like A. So if A is 5, this is like 5 plus 1. And then now reassign it into A again. So that's what, when this thing is in front, it says do this addition first, do 5 plus 1, and then assign it back to A. Now let's say we did we reassign this now. We now change the positioning of this plus. And then I do this. Oh, I'm still getting. So either ways, it still increments this. So this is an increment operator. So there are different cases to it. So when it's in front, it does the addition first and then assigns it. When it's at, okay, I don't know right or front or back now. So when it's actually this way, it does it. It sums it up. I usually make that mistake, front or back. So whichever is your front, whichever is your back. So what I mean is when it's in front here, when it's before A, it does it and assigns it to A. When it's after, it still adds it up, but that happens behind the scene. So you might not really notice that. All right. So back to what we were saying. So we've talked about the two types. So we have binary and then unary. Now coming to assignment. So an assignment operator assigns a value to its left operand, just like what we have on the screen here. So we have let A equals to 5. Now we are assigning this value, which is 5, to this left operand. So that's what happens here. So there are different types of, say for instance now, I say let B equals to A. And then we now say let's do console.log B. If I save this, and then I want to see I want to see what B is. That's why I'm doing console.log B. So I do this, and we see that B here, it has taken the same value with A, because I assigned A to B. So whatever is on this side, we're assigning it to B, or to whatever operand is on this other end. So that's what happens here. So we also have some other cases. We have something like, yeah, so we have something like this. So we have plus equals, so that is an addition assignment. So we want to now see what B is. So let's see what B is. Okay, let B. Okay. So let's B. All right. Okay, so let's do let's B. Okay, so let me change this. Let's A. So I'm not reassigning. So A plus equals 5. If I do this, sorry. Sorry, at times you could just get. So the fun thing about JavaScript is when you have an error. All right. So JavaScript allows you to also notice when you're making errors or when you have an error. So I had this here. When I saved it and then came to do this, it now showed me that, oh, I have this issue here. So I'm removing this. I'm doing this now. So this is what happens. So we have let A be equals to this. Then we have A plus equals to 5. Now, what this does is it says, okay, this is A. A is equals to what? A plus 5. So you're doing A plus 5, and then you're now reassigning it to A again. So that is like 5 plus 5, and then it gives us this. So let me give me a moment. All right. All right. Okay. So what I've been doing on VS Code is also possible to do it on your browser too, just in case. So let's A equals to 5. So A, so we do plus equals to basic. So this is, yeah. So this is the same thing that we're also getting on VS Code actually. So it's the same thing when you just do it that way. So we are doing this is an assignment operator, addition assignment operator, because we are assigning the value of what we get here to A. So that's why we are getting this 10 here. So the same thing, you can also do the same for minus too. So when you do minus, then I'll do this. So we see, and it's like I've been reassigning things. Sorry. If I run this now, so we see we are getting 0. We're getting 0 because we're saying, okay, from A, which is already 5. Now remove 5 from A and then output the value of A. So that means 5 minus 5 now gives us now 0. So that's the way this works. All right. So let's go to, so we have addition, we have subtraction, we have multiplication, we have division, we have even remainder. So if I do, you see something like this. this percentage sign in JavaScript, it stands for, it's called modulo, which stands for remainder. So if I save this now, and then I try to output again, see that what it says is that 5 divided by 5, 5 divided by 5 will give us 1. Is there any remainder when you divide 5? So there's actually no remainder. So that's why it's giving us a 0. All right. So that goes for assignment operators. So we have comparison operators. So as the name implies, we use this for comparing things. So let me go to my browser. So we have A, which is already 5. And then we have, let's do another one. Let's B equals to 5. So I now say A equals to B. Sorry, let me clear this. So, sorry, let me do this again. Let A equals to 5. Let B equals to 5. So A, so let me just do if sorry. Okay, sorry. So we are saying is A greater than B. So we have A is equals to 5. Now we have B is equals to 5. And now we're now checking is A greater than B. So definitely both of them are the same, have the same values. So it's giving us a false here. And if you remember in the last class, we talked about Boolean. So Boolean is basically true or false. So this is, so when we compare, it actually gives us either true or false. So this is what is happening here. So we can also do A, then we do, so we are saying it's A. So things like your greater than, double equals to, not a single equal to. I think I actually did that. I made that mistake a few minutes ago. So when you use a single equals to, you're saying you're assigning a value to another thing. All right. So when you want to compare, make sure you use either 2 or you use 3. So what this does, when you use 3, it actually checks if the types are the same. So say for instance, you're comparing a string and a number. It's also checks if, when you use 3 operators, it now checks if the string and the number matches. So let me do something quick. So I say let's C be equals to 5. And then I now say let D be equals to, I now do 5. I'm now saying C equals to D. And then can you imagine what this guy is telling me? Okay. So I said let C be equals to 5, which is a number. Then we now have let D be equals to 5, which is a string. And then I'm comparing C. I'm saying is C equals to D? And it's telling me true, a number and a string. So this is not strict in checking. So say for instance, I now repeat the same thing. I now say C equals to D. And then you see now, we are getting false because this is a number and then this is a string. So when you want to check when you want to be strict in your checking, you have to use 3 equals sign, or you do two. You use two equals to. Don't use a single equals to. All right. Do we have questions? This one. Yeah. Do we have questions so far? Can we hear me?
Very well, sir. We are following. We are.
All right. All right. So we also have not equals to. All right. So we have this. So let's say so we're saying is C, this exclamation mark stands for not. So we are saying is C not equals to D. So when you say is C not equals to, it now checks. Okay, so I'm not being strict here. I'm being loose here, and I'm saying that C is not equals to. We have 5 here. We also have 5 here, which is a string. And I'm not being strict when checking this. So what that means is C is this, if C is 5 here, is a number, yes. This other one is a string, yes. But both of them, they are 5s. We're not checking if this is a string and this is a number. So you saying that C is not equals to D is false now. Both of them are supposed to be equal. But if we now add an extra equals to here now, and we are now checking, oh, so C is a number, oh, and then D is a string. So both of them cannot, they are not equal. So this is, it now says, okay, this is a string, this is a number. So this one is not equal to this one, which gives us a true. So the same also goes, we also have so we've seen greater than, we also have less than 2. So the same way we have them in mathematics, that's the same way it actually works here. So it's just you understanding how to use each of them. All right. So I think that is that for comparison. So comparison is basically you comparing two things to see if the comparison is true or false. It gives you true or false. So like I said, things to note, we have strict comparison. So strict comparison is when you have three you have three operands. Yeah, you have three operators joined together. But when you have just two like this, that is not strict. So we also saw same for here. So we are now saying, okay, C and D, this is not strict. So because this is a number, this is a string. Yeah, it's not strict. So both of them are equal. That is true. But when we do this, this now gives us false because we are checking their types. All right. So now we also have arithmetic operators. So arithmetic operators are the ones we use for normal addition, subtractions, all those. So let me come here now. So we now said, so we said C. So C is 5. So let's say C plus 10. So this is us using an arithmetic operator. So like I said, this is a binary operator because it needs two. So it needs C and it needs this one. So it's saying, so our C here is what? 5. 5 plus 10. 5 plus 10 now gives us this. So the same way we can also do subtraction. So C minus 5 gives us 3. So let's do C minus D, and let's see what that actually gives us. It actually gives us this one. It gave us 0. We are saying a number minus string, and it's giving us a 0. It's giving us 0 here. So JavaScript is a bit loose on this end. It allows some things that normally, when we are doing two, okay, in primary school, then when we are doing two take away two take away three, we say cannot. But then as we went on now, we now found out that, oh, we can get minus one, minus two. So JavaScript is also quite loose like that. It allows us to yeah, it allows us to do some additions and subtractions, some operations that we think that they are not possible. All right, so let's go over to so we have, okay, we've talked about subtraction, addition. Then we also have, so we were talking about remainder. So let's say we have 10, and then we now do modulo 3. Now, I don't know how many of us have come across something like we are saying 10, and then you see this funny symbol, and then you have 3, 10 modulo 3. How many of us have come across something of this sort before? Let me, can I see your hand? Yeah, Alani, okay. Yeah, okay. So what do we think happens? Let me go. Ijoma, what happens here? Why do we have 1? Yeah, I asked Ijoma. Ijoma. Okay, Bisio, why do we have that?
Yes, we have 1 because the percentage represent modulus. and it's
Okay.
asking for the remainder after every division. So 10 divided by 3 is 9 remainder 1. So the remainder is 1.
Yeah. Okay. So that's basically that's what happens. So when you do 10 divided by 3, you have a remainder of 1. So when that's what is showing on the screen, that's why we have this one here. So 1 is the remainder. All right. So say we have 4 modulo hmm, so 4 modulo 2. So we see that we have 0. 4 divided by 2. To give us 2, but we don't have any remainder. So that stays as is. So let me try something funny. 4 modulo. Okay, so we now have this other one. Okay, so 4 modulo 5. And we are getting 4. Why do we have that? Can somebody help us? Why do we have that? Okay, Olani, yeah.
Yes, I guess it's because the divisor is more than the number we are dividing. But the operation behind that for this JavaScript, I don't understand. But we can say that the 4 is less than 5.
Okay, somebody now.
What happened there is that 4 divided by 5 is 0 remainder 5. So it's bringing back the remainder. So if you want to further divide now, you now have 0 point something. So, but naturally, 4 divided by 5 is 0 remainder 5. So
Is it remainder 5 or remainder 4? I'm confused.
remainder 4, sorry, 0 remainder 4.
Okay. Okay, so this is yeah. This is where we now say that cannot. 4 divided by 5 cannot. So we are not talking about decimals now. We are talking about remainder. Can 4 be can 4 be shared amongst 5 people without any remainder? So since it can't go around, so that's why we are now saying, okay, since it can't go around, let's just leave it at that. Nobody gets anyone. So we have 4 remaining. Okay, so that's what happens in that place. Okay. So we also have exponents. So say for instance now we want to do for, let me do this. Okay, so what happened here? I think my distance. Yeah, who can tell me what happens? Okay, Jama. Okay. All right. So I'm coming. Let me explain what happens. What happens in the previous one. So we have 4 divided by 5. So what happens is we are saying 5 people should share 4 things. And this should actually go around. We are not talking about having decimals. We don't want to have decimal, or we want to have point something. So we are saying share it equally, and then maybe a whole number remains. So since 4 cannot be divided by 5 equally, best to leave it. I brought 4 oranges, and then I have 5 children to share it. If I share it 1-1 for everybody, one person will not get. So instead of that, I should kukuma eat the fruit alone. I should eat all the 4 of them alone now. So that's what happened there. So 4 cannot be divided by 5 equally. So instead, the owner should carry the 4 and go back. That's what it means. All right, so back to this now, this last one now. Yes, what happened here? Yes, missing.
Yes, the symbol there is representing exponential assignment operator. So it means raised to the power of. So 4 raised to the power of 2 is 16. That's 4 times 4 is 16. So that's what that
Oh,
represents. And that's why we're having 16.
yeah. So the asterisk here stands for exponent. When you have two like this, it stands for exponent. For those of us that were running, I don't know, do we have people that were running away from mathematics in school? You see it in JavaScript though. You have to use it. Yes, Alani, I know. You have to use it. Oh. You have to learn how to use it. You will have to learn to love it. And mathematics can be interesting. Yeah, it's actually mathematics can be fun. All right, so this is what happens here. We also have, you can also do something like, I hope I get it. Okay, sorry. So there's a function for that. Yeah, okay, so JavaScript is actually forgiving. When you talk about white space, well, you can give space for Africa and it will still add it for you. Sure. So JavaScript is forgiving. There are some languages that are very strict. That when you give a space like that, when you give a space like that, it flags it as an error. So maths dot power. So so what we did here, 4 raised to the power of 2, is the same thing as this. This is this is a mathematical function in JavaScript, and it's the same thing with this. Say for instance, I now do this. I revert this to 4 comma 2. So we see, so we get the same thing like this, but this is when we use the maths method in JavaScript. All right. So back to what we were saying, okay? So that's arithmetic operators. So you can decrement, you can increment. So let's do this. We've talked about exponents. Now, we also have, if we remember, we used to have BODMAS in, yeah, in primary school and even in secondary, even in maths generally, let me just say, yeah. So say for instance, now we now have 100 plus 50 plus, I mean, okay. Okay, can we still see my screen?
No, we can't see your screen. Sorry.
All right. Okay, okay, yeah. So I was saying, if we do this, Okay, so we have this plus this times 2. So we are getting 200. So if we are following, okay, let's do this now. 100 plus 50. That will give us, if we're just going on a straight line, let's say 100. You can see my screen, right, Abby?
Yeah.
All right, all right. So if we just say, okay, let's just line up numbers like that. So we have 100 plus 50 times 2. So let for those of us that just like doing straight like that, we say 100 plus 50. That gives us 150. 150 times 2. Yeah. So 150 times 2 will now give us this 200 here. So there's a thing like similar to board mass. There's operator precedence. So we say this has a higher power than this. The same way we have to use board mass, and then we'll now say, okay, so if you have numbers and with their operators, so we now check, okay, bracket of division and all of that. So the same way for in JavaScript now, we now have to check, okay, so multiplication is higher than addition. So we now have to do 50 times 2. So 50 times 2 now gives us 100 before we now do the addition. So the same way, if we have brackets now, let's say for instance, I'm still using the same. So let's say I now decided to use a bracket here. So you see, this is when this actually comes to play. So we are saying do this one first before now doing this other one. So there's a thing like operator precedence. So which is stronger, which has a higher power than the other one. So I think we should actually just look up how this actually works. For those of us that used to run away from it and it used to give us tough time, we should just look it up. So normally multiplication has a higher power. So that's why you have to do this multiplication first before you now do this addition with this other number. So it's not like just come from the left and be going on straight. So that's the way that works. All right. So what again? What am I missing out? Okay. So there's precedence. So somewhere that will actually like us to look up. So look. I don't know how many of us are actually studying. I believe I've spoken with a few people and they've told me that they actually go to places like W3 school. I think free code camp is also good, but you might need to study a bit before. Or they have videos too. So for you to get to understand most of these things properly, you need to practice it, which is my problem with people when it comes to learning. You don't practice something, and maybe you're the type of person that has to wait till when you're given a task to do, and then you now start struggling on top of that task. It's actually not the right thing to do. We have busy schedules, but you can at least try, make effort to learn how to do some of these things, to practice how it's done. So we've talked about this. So if you go to W3 school, actually, you get to see and understand more of this, how this works, how the other one works, what connection do they have. So we've talked about arithmetic, we've talked about assignment, we've talked about, yeah, we did data types in the past. So now I want to go into something new, and that is functions. So I am thinking now. Do I do it on a browser? So let's go on here. Let me ask, do we have questions so far? I know Frank is keeping us busy, Sha. Do we have questions? I mean, we are understanding. Do we have questions? Hello? Hello, can we hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think there are no questions. You can move on.
Yeah, no
All
question.
right. All right. I just needed to know that I'm not talking to myself. All right. Okay. So just give me a moment. All right. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, can we see my screen? VS
Yeah, we
Code.
can.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I want to go into, I don't know how this is on your end, Sha. It's looking skewed. So in so we have something called functions. Now there are times when we want to do a particular thing. Let's say, for instance, I just want to log my name, or I want to print out my name, and then maybe some detail about myself. Okay, so let's do this. So I say let's name equals to, we know what the string is.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay. So this is my name. So let me just make this an, okay. So I want to print out this name, but I want it to happen inside a function. We talked about scope. So a function is a block of code. So it's a block of code designed to perform a particular task. So I have my name here. So I will bring it inside here now. So I want to print name. Okay. So let me just do this. So print name, calling this function now. I'm going to just do this inside here. Let me clear this. Okay. So we have this outside here, and then we're doing inside our function now. We are now saying console.log name. So Now, this is outside here, but this function here, is designed to print out a name. Now, this is outside here, but it's able to pick this inside here. So say for instance, let me just do this outside here. Let me do this inside here, so that I'll explain how scoping works. So this is my compound. This function is my compound, and inside the compound, I have this tree growing inside here. Now, I want to print out this name. I just do this console.log. So I'm doing this. So you see, it's looking for name, but you cannot find name here. Name is not outside. You say name is inside here. So somebody has a tree, an orange tree inside his compound, and then somebody outside is looking for a way to get fruits from inside here. And then it's now telling you that name is not defined because name is not inside here. So this is it being, you don't have access to this. So your scope is just, you can only affect things that are outside here. You cannot affect things that are inside this particular place. That's by the way, Sha. I was just trying to explain scoping. Okay, so here now. So I have this. When you want to write a function, how this works is you start with a function. So we actually have ES50. We have this is ES5. I mean, so this is like the old method of writing this. So you start with a function keyword, then the name of your function, then you have this bracket. Now inside this bracket, you can do different things inside here. You can pass parameters. Actually, that's what I mean. Not different things. You can pass parameters inside here. Then you now have this opening and closing this. So say for instance now, so let's do this. So we have this here, console.log name. So let me run this function again. So it's saying undefined. So if I now do this, so see what happens. So let me explain this now. So when we say passing parameters, we mean, okay, so you can use this to give, you can give input through this point. So this name is now saying, okay, so I want to print a name. I need a name to be passed to me so that I can actually print it out. So when I come here now, I am calling this function. So something needs to, you need to actually call a function. So just doing this, maybe I should do this on a browser, that will explain this better. So Sorry, give me a moment. Um, and this guy doesn't want to balance. Okay, so I have function, and then I said print name. And then I do this. Now inside this, I now say console.log. Now, for me to be able to do this, let me just do this. So I have a function. For me to do this, I need to pass a parameter inside here. So I need, sorry. So that means I need to pass in this name. Since I want to use it within this block of code. So this is like, my hand is stiff. Okay, so this is like, okay, so this is what I expect. Anything that is inside here, I expect it to happen. But I need to give it input from here, from this point, so that I can use it within this bracket. Now, this is just me creating a function. I need to call this function for it to actually work. So if I say print name, it gives me undefined because I have a value here. I have a parameter, but I'm not giving it any parameter to work with. It's just the same thing like when we're using almighty formula, and then we need what A, B, and C will be, and then you're not giving those parameters, or you're doing simple interest, and then maybe you're looking for the principal, and then you don't have the simple interest, you don't have the rate and all of that. So it's that kind of parameter. So we have this now, and we're trying to print out a name, but nothing is passed inside here. So I come here now, and then I put a string since it's a listen. Since names are string, so I do this, and then I'm able to print out this name. So function basic is it's just a block of code that we want we want what is inside it to happen. So it's defined using a function keyword. That's why we have this function here, followed by the name and then parentheses. So function names, very important. Function names can contain letters, digits, underscores, and $sign. So it also works the same way your variable name will work. Don't come and start when you want to create a function. You now say, so you start with a number first. No, you start with an alphabet and then follow suit. So you need to call a function the same way I did here now. The same way I did. Sorry, where's my mouse? Okay, the same way I did here. So this is me calling this function. I declared the function here, but now I'm calling it here. I didn't call it with the function keyword. I called it with print name. I called it with the name and then this bracket. But now I passed the parameter inside it. So I want to do something, okay, let's do simple interest. Let's just do something, simple interest. I'm not really, maths and myself were somehow. Okay, so let's do a simple addition. So we say let's A equals to 19. Let B be equals to 2. So okay, I didn't need to do this actually. So let me just declare them. Let A and then let's B. All right. So I want a function that adds both of them. The function sum. Okay. So I do A plus. So let me just do a return A plus B. Oh, this should be okay. So I need this. So I want to be able to, yeah, I want to be able to add A and B here. Now, so this is me now I did this, but I don't have parameters that will make this work. Where is this A coming from? Where is this B coming from? I am not passing it to be used here. Though this can, so if I had assigned it outside first. So let's do this. So I am doing sum, and then I just, in my mind now, I just say I want to do 5 and 4. I'll definitely I'll get not a number because I don't have these parameters here. So I need to properly define this. I need to tell it, okay, for you to work, you need two things. You need A and B for you to work. So now, when I'm calling this now, to see what happens now, I'm calling this sum, and I'm saying, okay, this A now, this is my A. So if I hover on this, yeah, so this is my A, this is my B. So 5 and 4. So I'm saying return the value of this plus this. So when I call this and pass in the two values, and I'll get my answer as 9. Are we confused?
No.
Okay. So that's the way functions work. So we can try something out. I have like 8 minutes. Okay. Ouch. So let's say I already defined. I say let's A equals to 3. Then let's B. I don't know why B is coming out like B in my head. Equals to 7. Okay. Then I now do. I now do my function again. Do function without this. Call sum. Okay, so see what happened now. So I have let A be equals to this, let B be equals to this. I've already assigned values to them outside. But now I have this function, sum. and I'm saying, okay, return the value of A plus B. So now we now have, it now picks this value. So this is 3, and then this is 7, and it now does the sum and gives us this. So when you don't give parameters here, if you just do it, if you assign them outside and then do this, it will actually work. But when you now define parameters that you expect to be used in this function here, and you don't pass those parameters, you will have you get you have errors and all of that. So let's understand how this works, and then we'll be able to use that. So I will stop here so we can look up more about functions. So do we have questions so far? Come on. Yeah, do we have questions? I hope is anybody confused? Okay, so in the absence of questions, I think Frank really did a very good job in the chat here. So let me just answer some questions from earlier. Okay, so for the padding margin thing that Alani asked, so I kind of explained this. So when we talk about margin and padding, now padding is like, look at it from this instance. You went to get, or those days when our mothers normally buy shoe for us, and they don't ask us, sometimes they don't even check whether it's our size, they just buy it. So you get this shoe, you like the shoe, it's very fine, and you cannot say let you not wear it. You have to wear the shoe. So what do? You get tissue paper or something. I'm not talking from experience. I'm just saying. So you get tissue paper or paper or anything, and then put it inside the shoe, and then wear it like that. So what are you doing? You're padding it. So padding affects inside. Padding affects the inner part of a, let's say we have a box. Padding affects inside it. Margin affects outside it. So around it. So when you do margin top pushes that container from the top down. When you say padding, padding pushes the content, what is inside it, away from the edges. So if you say padding top will push it from the top. Padding left, push it from the left. So that kind of yeah, that kind of thing. Okay, so for resources for Bootstrap, you can use Bootstrap documentation. I think that is like the best place to get to learn Bootstrap more. So you see how the classes works and all of that. So let's, as much as possible, try and make it your friend, so that from time to time you can go there and just get codes. That's the beauty of frameworks. You just go there and except you get very conversant with it. There's some people that I've seen them type it, but meant right, and just put it in your work and move on. All right. So I think that's the end of class for today. So if you have questions, you can ask on Slack. I'll attend to them and all of that. So thank you. Okay.
Okay, yeah, so thank you, Orochukwu. Okay, so to every other person, please go and work on your assignments and make sure to submit on or before the end of tomorrow. Okay, and yeah, so that's that. So happy independence to you all and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Wait, so BC has questions, right?
Okay, quickly.
Yeah, sorry. My question is, are we having another assignment before the week runs out?
Likely.
Bisolu, what stage are you on?
I'm in stage 4.
Were you given a task on stage 4?
Yes, the
Have you,
bootstrap.
have you done it?
Yes, I've submitted.
Okay, good. There's no other assignments to be given. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.